and voluptuaries, all more or less occupying the same space. And that vast space, that Mexican landscape, squalid and lush and primal and majestic. And huge seasonal settlements of torpid, sunburned Canadians, as well as the remnants of 15 colonies of polygamous Mormons who fled to Mexico from Utah to maintain large harems of docile, bonnet-wearing wives, all of them glowing with sweat in the Chihuahuan desert, clad in the required layered underwear they call temple garments. And isolated bands of old colony Mennonites speaking Low German in rural Cuauhtemoc and Zacatecas, herding cows and squeezing homegrown milk into semi-soft cheese, Chihuahua cheese or queso menonita, meltable and buttery, very tasty in a Mennonite Veronica casserole or bubble bread. Baja is both swanky and poor. The frontera is owned by the cartels and border rats on both sides. Guerrero State is run by narco gangs. Chiapas is dominated by masked idealistic Zapatistas. And, at the Mexico margins, the spring breakers, the surfers, the backpackers, the crusty retired people, honeymooners, dropouts, fugitives, gun runners, CIA scumbags, and snoops, money launderers, currency smurfers. And, look over there, an old gringo in a car, squinting down the road, thinking, Mexico is not a country. Mexico is a world, too much of a mundo to be wholly graspable, but so different from state to state in extreme independence of culture and temperament and cuisine, and in every other aspect of peculiar Mexicanismo. It is a perfect example of thatness. I was that old gringo. I was driving south in my own car in Mexican sunshine, along the straight sloping road through the thinly populated valleys of the Sierra Madre Oriental. The whole craggy spine of Mexico is mountainous. Valleys, spacious and austere, were forested with thousands of single yucca trees, the so-called dragon yucca, Yucca filifera, that Mexicans call palmachina. I pulled off the road to look closely at them and wrote in my notebook, I cannot explain why, on the empty miles of these roads, I feel young. And that was when I saw a slender branch twitch on the ground. It lay beneath the yucca and soil like sediment. It moved. It was a snake, a hank of shimmering scales. It began to contract and wrap itself, its smooth and narrow body pulsing in the serpentine peristalsis of threat, brownish, like the gravel and the dust. I stepped back, but it continued slowly to resolve itself into a coil. Not poisonous, I learned later. Not a plumed serpent. Not the rearing rattler being gnawed by the wild-eyed eagle in the vivid emblazonment on the Mexican national flag. It was a coach whip snake, as numerous on this plain as rattlesnakes, of which Mexico has 26 species, not to mention, elsewhere, milk snakes, blind snakes, rat snakes, pit vipers, worm-sized garden snakes, and 10-foot-long boa constrictors. The joy of the open road, joy verging on euphoria. Behind us lay the whole of America, and everything Dean and I had known about life, and life on the road. Kerouac writes of entering Mexico in On the Road. We had finally found the magic land at the end of the road, and we never dreamed the extent of the magic. But then, driving onward, reflecting on the old twisted trunks of the yuccas and their globular crowns of spiky sword-like leaves, the leaves are erect when they are young, but they become arched when they get older, a botanist writes, seeming to suggest a fogyish image, each a solitary stick in the asparagus family, and it does seem like a succulent spear that swelled to become a desert palm rooted in sand, tenacious